Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a very different video. I'm not even sure how it's going to turn out. So if you're like me, you've been watching Big Hit and MNET's Island. It's a K-pop survival competition where they're going to find 12 boys to debut with Big Hit as a new group. It's been amazing. It's been my first survival show experience, and as much as it's heartbreaking, we've only had one episode, and it's already been like very emotional because you see how important this is to the boys and their dreams, and some of them are seeing it crumble before them, and it's just it's emotional. I've almost cried every time I watched it, and I've watched that first episode 5 times now because I'm so ready for the next episode. But anyways, what we're doing here today is I'm going to try to build an island Lightstick. Yeah, I'm not the craftiest of person. I have good ideas, I think, sometimes, but that's about as far as it goes. But my mother was a very crafty person growing up, so I've definitely picked up things from her since she was who raised me. So I had this idea to create a light stick for Island, and I'm just gonna go for it. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see how it looks. So I'm going to show you my process as I start to build this. And so this is very much going to be a different video for the channel. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but we're going to see what we can do, see what we can put together. Obviously, this is very much just a passion project, something really neat. Eventually, yeah, there will be a light stick for, Island, if that is the group name. I don't know if that's going to be the group name, so I don't know. But I'm going to make a light stick for Island, and something that, me as an Eggie can use to support the boys while I watch the show every Friday. So I'm really excited about it. I hope it turns out well. I bought a bunch of different stuff based on kind of my concept in my head of things I think could work. So we're going to go through and try to make it work. We're going to do different things. It's not going to be perfect probably, and we may have some hiccups where it's like, all right, well, that didn't work, and we'll just have to scratch that. But I am going to show you my entire journey through building this. Really excited, and I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so now I'm just going to go through some of the things that I have purchased to hopefully make this concept come to life. I don't know that all of this will be in the final version once I get it built and, I'm happy with how it looks and how it's came out. But this is all of the stuff. And anything, once we do get to the end and all the stuff that I actually used, I will make sure to put that down in the description so that you guys can, order it for yourself if you guys want to try to make this as well. And maybe you can make it even cooler. Maybe you can design something and add some stuff to it that'll make it even cooler, guys. I'd love to see other people make their own light sticks as well for Island, and us all just compare our light sticks that we made. That'd be really cool. So I will put down in the description anything that I did use in the final version once we have completed it. So let's just go with some of the stuff that I got. All right, so for the light stick, obviously we need an egg. And so that's this. This is what I've bought so far. I think this would work best. It's actually an ornament. To make your own ornaments, you can put something in here and then make an ornament. Obviously, I'm going to cut this, ideally, so that it can set correctly. So it was like a 10-pack of those. So that's what I'm hoping to use for our egg. All right, next would be this here. So for the cube, the egg is in a cube. Ideally, I'm making this light stick based off of the design of kind of the logo for the show. I think that it looks really cool. I think if I can make, the cube, the egg, and the egg like glow, I think that'd be really cool as a light stick. So this would be our cube. This is the smallest cube that I could find that I think will look good. And this is to hold a baseball. It's a baseball display. So that's that right there. Opens up like that, so we can put the egg in there. We're gonna have to figure out how to secure it. So that will be our cube part of it. All right, so this is frosted glass. It's a spray paint basically to make a semi-transparent finish on. You can put it on windows. You can put it on glass in like a bathroom if you have like a shower door that you want to be kind of frosted. That you can use it for all kinds of different stuff, and it can go on all kinds of different surfaces. So ideally, I'm going to spray this on the egg so that the egg is semi-transparent, and light that goes into the egg doesn't immediately just disperse out. So ideally, since this is going to frost over the outside of the egg, it should contain the light a little bit more and give us that glow that we're wanting. I'm hoping that's the goal here. All right, so what do you have with a light stick? You have the handle. You got this light stick part of it, and the only thing I could think was to get flashlights, different flashlights. So I have two different flashlights here. I really like the sleek design of this one. I feel like this is more light stick to me, but it's really, really thin. So I'm not totally sure if this is going to make it into the final, but I do like this one a lot. All right, so I wanted to maintain that the proportions were good. So if we're using this light stick, say, it's not too unproportional. Let me put that in the center there. Yeah. So that won't be too bad, but the only thing I worry about is that when we do try to attach these two, the only thing I'm going to be able to do an adhesive on is the top here, the rim, and I just don't know that that's enough surface area. So what I'm thinking is I have this foam here, this foam disc. Ideally, I could cut a circle, kind of almost the size of that sticker out, and we'll put this into this, and I can glue on the sides and the inside of the foam to put there, and then that'll give me more surface area on the top to connect this to the bottom of that. That's something we're gonna have to play with. I just don't think that just putting adhesive here is gonna be enough to kind of hold this together, or the other light stick if we choose to do that one. So I have this disc here that I can do some foam work with. This is cutting tools for the foam, and then this is glue specific to the foam to adhere it to anything, plastic, any type of other substance. So, all right, we also have some orange paint. I'm not sure where all we're going to use this. If we need to use this on our handle, our flashlight part, maybe we might have to paint the inside of the egg orange to give it the orange glow. I do also have there's a couple different ones here. This is the orange I'd probably go with, but it's a gel sheet. These are used on lights for filmmaking. You put these on a light to make the light look a different color, to make the scene seem a little bit warmer. Ideally, I'm going to try to put this over the top of the flashlight, over the lens there, so that we can get that orange color. If that doesn't work, then we'll go to this, and hopefully this works. I think it'll look a lot cleaner. If the egg's just glossed over on the inside and when we turn it on it's orange, I think that'll look really cool. If not, we'll paint the inside of the egg if that's what we got to do, but we're going to get this done. All right, guys, that is all of the pieces that I currently have. Hopefully it all works out and we can figure this out. I do have a hot glue gun, obviously, that I'm going to use as well. That's going to be my primary adhesive for certain areas besides the styrofoam glue. But that's everything. Let's see if we can get this thing put together. First thing we're going to do, since these are ornaments, I do need to cut this off. All right, we're outside and I have this Amazon box that I cut a little hole in here so that this will cradle the egg pretty well while we spray it here, because we're gonna have to spray it, and ideally we don't want to frost the bottom side because that's where the light's gonna have to come through. All right, well, it's frosted now. We're gonna have to let this dry, and I'll do it to a bunch of other ones so we can kind of mess around with it. All right, so next, while we're still waiting for our eggs to dry, I'm going to go ahead and start making the foam surface that's going to go on the bottom here. This is the bottom of the cube that our light stick, our flashlight is going to go into. So give us a little bit more surface area to glue both of those units together. So it's kind of just a buffer area. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a piece of paper, and I'm going to kind of make a concept of how big I want it to be, so I can look at it against this before we start cutting into this foam, because I just don't want to waste our foam. It's not perfect by any means. That is not a perfect circle. So we'll just go with that right now, because that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted it to fit kind of where those little edges are there. I don't want it to go too big. Just want this to slowly make our design a little bit more, smooth, a little bit more fluid. I totally just hit myself in the eye with some of this that like flew off. All right, well that's kind of the bulk of it. Like last time, I'll give myself, just clean up some of these edges that are a little bit more sporadic. I'm not going to do anything too crazy until I can I'm going to put the flashlight up to it and see what we got here. Okay, it definitely needs to get bigger. Two for two now. Technically, it's 2 for 3. We ruined the first one. But there we go. We got it all the way up to the brim there, and that one's pretty snug. Like, I can hold it with the styrofoam, and it's not dropping the light out. And by all means, that's the goal. So we now have both of those. Once again, we can fine-tune these edges and stuff on these after the fact. We just wanted to get this. All right, guys, that's this part. We're done here. All right, so next we are going to do, we're going to cut some pieces of this off. We're going to do some for both of these because they're obviously different size lenses. We're going to try to get them as accurate as possible. We want them to cover all of the light here. We don't want any of the light to not go through this if this works. Because if it's sending white light through, we're going to see that too. We'd really rather it all be orange so it goes up into the egg and makes the egg glow orange. Kind of hard to see. But there it is shining with that on there compared to here, which is more of a white light. When you put this over it, the gel makes it more orange. Now how that's going to look once it's coming up through the egg, I don't know. That's something we're going to have to test. But that one, look, that one's even sticking in there. That is working wonderfully. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Those are our two gel tops, and we can fine tune those down the road. But these are for the two different lights here. Ideally, they shouldn't need to be glued to it or anything like that. We don't want any type of adhesive on top of the lens. It's going to just smear it, smear most likely, or leave some type of stuff on the lens. It's going to hinder how much light output we get. So with these, they'll just, as long as they're fit perfect, like this one was, it's sticking in there. Like, it's not coming out. It's in there right now. So and you're going to be holding it up anyways, so it's going to be stuck inside here. So we should be good. We shouldn't have to do any adhesive because of static. After doing some testing, the gels just aren't putting out enough orange. I even cut 4 total to place over the top of the light, and it's just not really giving off the orange tint that I would like, because I'd really like a deeper orange. So we're going to try something else. It's pretty perfectly orange. And that's using 4 or 5 of the gels stacked on top of each other. Obviously, the more on top of each other, it amplifies the output of that color, making it more orange instead of more just like a slight orange, like a tint. So it's really, and this is just a standard frosted egg. I have not colored or painted the inside of this. So this is ideally what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use this flashlight instead, and this is the thinner silver flashlight. All right, so we cut a bunch more to go inside of here. I think there's like 4 in there. Now the only problem is I can't get them perfect, so the edges kind of bleed some, white light. So what I've decided to do is I cut a square that's going to be big enough to go on the top here. And I'll glue this over here just to kind of grab any excess white light that does bleed through. This is something you're really not going to see unless you're looking from the top side down on the light stick. So I'm not really worried about it. Obviously, like I said, I want this to be mainly practical and still, you know, polished and stuff like that. I want it to look good. But that's the best thing I can do to get that little bit of white light that is escaping around the edges, because I can't get these perfectly cut on the inside. Place some around the edges of here for this to stick to. Just want to make sure it's covering the whole lens, and then I'm just going to kind of tap down on these spots and get it on my finger. It's going to be great. Don't want any glue to seep into the middle there. We don't want it to run over that so that it compromises our lens. But that's glued, so I'm going to let that set now, and then we will move on to the next part of our light stick. All right, now that this is dried here on the top, ideally, next step is we're going to mount this to this. Trying to make sure I put it centered. So our egg gets maximum light. All right, and then we'll just let it set like that until it dries. All right, this is set for 24 hours. The glue on this needs to set for 24 hours to have a good bond. That's something I found out the hard way. I thought it would be done in like an hour or so, and it wasn't. And I looked at the bottle, and it says it's 24 hours for the styrofoam glue to adhere to other objects, plastic, so on and so forth. So this is all solid now. And so now the last thing we need to do is we need to hot glue our egg into the center here. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use hot glue. Hot glue sets reasonably fast. It don't take a long time to set. So ideally, I'm going to see kind of where the hot glue is going to need to be. Obviously, I'm trying not to cover my light as much as possible. More of a wide circle. Is clear too, so I'm going to put it in the middle as well. Okay. And then I'm going to set the egg there in the middle, give it a little bit of pressure, and kind of just hold it there until it sets. Like I said, hot glue sets reasonably quick. Yeah, it's already pretty much set. And I'll probably fit it in there, try to get a little bit under there. Yep. Just putting a little bit on the other edges that I can reach. And then I'll clean this up here because hot glue likes to leave like these strings of the glue. So I'm just kind of putting a little bit more in the corners where I can reach. Obviously with these walls, it makes it kind of hard, but yep, that's pretty much set already. Look. Hot glue sets really quickly once you let it heat up. And I would have used it for the styrofoam part, but the styrofoam doesn't necessarily work well with all types of glue. So that's why we went with the actual styrofoam glue. All right, so that is all set and everything now. We can put the case back on. And then we'll test it out in the dark. All right, so moment of truth. Looks awesome. I love it. It looks so good. All right, well, it worked, guys. All right, guys, well, that was me creating my own island light stick. Thank you guys for taking this journey with me. Obviously, there's some more stuff that I'm probably going to do to it personally just to make it look perfect in my eyes. I'm probably going to paint the styrofoam here a different color. I'm not totally sure what I'll go with, and I honestly will probably paint over the red here and then maybe name it. If you guys have any ideas for what the Island Lightstick should be called, let me know down in the comments. We got to name this thing. I will be leaving, like I said, everything that I used down in the description, links for those things. So if you guys want to try to make one yourself, you can do that. I was so excited to take this on. I didn't know how it was going to turn out. And, well, it turned out pretty awesome in my opinion. Thank you guys so much for coming on this journey with me, creating this. The show has been just amazing so far. I have to watch episode 2, which aired today. Unfortunately, I was at work all day, so I didn't get to watch it yet. So I'm going to get into that after I get some editing done. And thank you guys once again for continuing to support the channel. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up down below and subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me. And I'll see you guys down in the comments.